It's a wonderful store, by the way. I'm looking around and I see a lot of old classic books, and I'm thinking, what better place could we come to shop for a sales tax holiday, right? This is a pretty incredible thing to do, and it really means a lot that you're here. And once again, it's great for me to be back in Beckley and to spend more time in Raleigh County. As you know, I've come down here once or twice since I've been governor, and you can be assured that I'll be back here many more times to come. You know, this is a wonderful time of year. As families across West Virginia prepare to send their kids back to school, I know this is a time of year that can bring both excitement and a lot of stress. We know that with the cost increases that we saw over the years, the inflation that really ran rampant during the Biden administration, we know that a lot of families in West Virginia are still struggling to pay basic bills. The cost of school supplies and new clothes, they really went up a lot, and a lot of families are struggling to make ends meet. As your governor, I want to do everything I can to help address that and put more hard-earned tax dollars back in your pocket. That's a priority. We have to constantly look at helping people who are most in need. That's why I'm very proud today to promote our back-to-school sales tax holiday period. I know that's a mouthful, but from August 1st through August 4th, there's a great sales tax holiday where families are going to get a lot of incredible benefits if they go out and shop. We're going to give West Virginia families a much-needed tax break, and we're excited about that. And I always have believed that our state's rise really is tied to the strength of our kids. Our kids matter more than anything else because we want West Virginia to ultimately be the best place to live, to work, and to play. And to do that, you have to make sure that the kids have the best tools that they need to succeed in school. And that's why a lot of parents and families like to go out shopping. I read online yesterday that the average family is spending about $850 to $900 just getting kids ready for school. That's a lot of money. So isn't it nice when West Virginia can step up and maybe provide a little bit of relief to that? In some cases, up to 7% of the dollars, and that adds up. If you're talking about a $300 or a $400 bill, I don't know about you, but if I could save 28, 35, or 40 bucks on something, that's nice. That might allow you to go out to eat, might allow you to buy some other new clothes, go to the movies, do something else that you want. That's great. And that's consistent with our theme of ensuring that West Virginians get to keep their hard-earned tax money. During this tax-free weekend, West Virginians won't pay sales tax on many essential school-related items. That's certain clothing with a purchase price of $125 or less, certain laptop or tablet computers with a cost of $500 or less, certain school instruction materials with cost of $20 or less, or other school supplies with purchase prices of $50 or less. One of my favorites, certain sports equipment with a purchase price of $150 or less. And the way this law is structured, you might be, an old sports guy, but you might want to go out and buy a tennis racket or, buy a baseball glove and, pitch the ball around your yard. And you might be able to go out there, regardless of your age, buy that and get that extra benefit. It's a great time to go out. And it's also a great time. Look at this beautiful store. You could come out here and get the benefits of this amazing place. And I think for families with multiple children, the savings are really going to add up. Yesterday, we were in Bridgeport promoting the potential savings for families this weekend. But I really wanted to come down here to Southern West Virginia and make sure people here know, avail yourselves of the opportunities. I know that according to our tax commissioner, this 4-day tax holiday is actually going to cost the state, they say, about $3.4 million. I like to think of it from a different perspective. Let's see if we can get the word out enough and maybe it, quote, costs a lot more. That means more people getting the benefit of the great holiday, right? Because this is your money and you need to spend it the way you see fit. I think that we need to make sure we're always looking at keeping more money in your pockets. And I think you'll be seeing in the months and the years ahead. Not only is this state government going to be run much more efficient than you've ever seen it, and we have some numbers that are going to be coming out soon that show that from the executive orders that we've put in place, we're saving more money. We're running state government more efficiently than we have in the past. Then when you have those efficiencies, you want to return more of it back to the people where the money belongs. That's exciting to me, and you'll hear more and more about that in upcoming days and weeks ahead. There are a lot of opportunities here at Tamarack for savings, and I think you're going to see some great things happening in Tamarack over the course of the upcoming weeks and months ahead. And there's so many small businesses across southern West Virginia and around West Virginia as a whole. Your purchases are going to help your family. They're going to help small businesses. They're going to help our kids, and they're going to help West Virginia grow and grow and grow. You know, according to the NFIB, the National Federation for Independent Business, every dollar that you spend on a small business during our sales tax holiday, 67% actually remains with the small business. So when you're in a place like this, where a lot of that money gets to stay with the local business. And these local businesses are just like all of us in the room today. And we want to look out for them because that's really the backbone of our economy. So I'm very happy to come and promote it and announce it. This is not something that, I originally came up with, but I thought it would be really good to celebrate. And it's key. The key to its success is to ensure that we're getting the word out far and wide across West Virginia. So I want to thank the media for coming here. Whatever station you are, get the word out because this is an opportunity for every family to benefit. It's wonderful. Now, as you know, just a couple weeks ago, we've been talking a lot about economic development and ways to help West Virginia families. We unveiled parts of our economic development plan to put our state on a path to grow and to have a lot of success. We unveiled our Grow West Virginia plan. That's a strategy that's focused on a number of goals, including growing paychecks by cutting taxes and fees for working people, by growing jobs, by helping local businesses both cut red tape and reduce some of their tax burdens, and by working overtime to attract new investments into the state. We also talked about wanting to grow the free market economy. West Virginia needs to be a beacon of freedom across the country. And I think with the changes we're putting in place, we can certainly do that. We want to cut red tape faster than any other state and have the fastest permitting state in America. That's certainly what we're all about. And also, we want to grow VOTEC opportunities. There's almost unlimited number of jobs available right now from a VOTEC and a contracting perspective. And as we build the jobs related to the high-tech economy, leveraging our energy resources, all those advanced manufacturing jobs and data opportunities, we also want to make sure we're remembering the plumbers, the electricians, the sheet metal workers, those who work with their hands. It's a very noble cause. Finally, we want to grow workforce participation. That labor participation really matters. And that's a big goal for me and should be a big goal for the state. Right now, West Virginia is unfortunately at the bottom in the country in terms of workforce participation, about 54.3% compared to the national average of about 62%. We have to make strides in this area and get more people back to work. That's how we're going to really fuel our comeback. For those who've been listening to me in the last 6 months, you know that I'm wildly optimistic about West Virginia, but I think it's important to level set where you start. And when we started, the beginning, we're ranked near the bottom in a lot of these key categories. That's going to change. And quite frankly, it has to change. The good news is I'm with a number of people today in the legislature and other people not with me here who are working overtime to try to make big things happen, to really lift our economy up and do things a little different than the way they're done before. Gone are the days when people say, well, that's the way it's always been done. That is not what we're doing. We're going to make sure that we're anchoring our state to an opportunity to fly and succeed based upon the right tenets, the right principles. And I'm really thrilled that we're off to a good start and we're going to make that happen. So it's a wonderful time to be here in West Virginia, and I would encourage all the families to get out this weekend during this tax holiday. Pick up your pencils, pick up your notebooks, your shoes, your clothes, your sporting equipment, your laptops, whatever you need, and know that the people up here were working for you. We're going to keep going to give you the relief that you need. We have to make life more affordable in the Mountain State, and we want to make sure that your children's education is more affordable. Now, I'm fortunate to be joined by a few folks here today who are making a big impact on the economy right here in Raleigh County, and I'd like to give them and some of the others up here an opportunity to speak today. But first, I'd like to turn it over to someone who's really every day focusing on getting local business starts, and I'm rooting hard for her success. That's Michelle Rodolini, president of the Beckley Raleigh County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much. Governor, we're so honored for you to choose our signature retail location here in Raleigh County today to make this announcement. And we're so happy for the reminder about this incentive for families. Not only am I president of the Chamber of Commerce, and my job is to help our businesses thrive and to offer incentives and marketing and things that drive traffic, but I'm also a mother of 3 college students. But guess what? I still have lots and lots of clothing and school supplies to purchase for them. So I'm so excited about the next 4 days, and I encourage everyone to go out and take advantage of this. And you also struck a chord when you mentioned how the money goes back into our local economy. I think it's so important for everyone to remember that when you spend your money in your local economy, you recycle those dollars right here at home. And those dollars go back in the form of jobs. They go back to help the local sports team. And they go back to the suppliers of all the goods and services that we buy. So really take advantage of this holiday and help our local economy. I'm also very pleased today to have with me a representative from one of our newest local retail shops here in Beckley. It's in downtown Beckley on Main Street. We have a little revitalization going, and we know that the key to revitalizing an economy are providing restaurants and shops and things that people want to get out and do. And so we hope that folks will also support a lot of those local businesses. So at this time, I just want to introduce you all to Lee Parker, who manages Tiffany's on Main right here in Beckley, and I'm going to turn it over to her to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. Like Michelle said, I'm the manager of Tiffany's on Main. We're at 122 Main Street in Beckley. I am a mother myself. I know how appreciative I'm going to be of this weekend. My little girl starts pre-K, so I will need all the back to school things. I think with our boutique, some of the most important people in this community are teachers. Anyone that needs, we've got men's, women's clothes, shoes, we've got journals, we've got everything, homewares, anything you can think of. And local support means absolutely everything to us. Like Michelle said, we are very new. We love to see you every day, but in particular this weekend, why not take advantage of the free tax? And yeah, hopefully we see you then.
Great. Well, this is wonderful. What a terrific group of people and a fabulous store. As my tradition, I try to also share the stage. We have some wonderful legislators who have done some terrific work, who have partnered with us, and we'd love to make that happen. So, Senator, any comments, thoughts?
Well, I also want to echo the welcome to Raleigh County. Once again, Governor Morrisey.
You think I've come here enough?
No, sir. No, sir. I have a few other places I'd like to take you if you have the time. A lot of other projects, a lot of things happening. And I am privileged to be part of the Senate Finance Committee as vice chair. And I well remember when we had the discussions dealing with line item things and all of this, and the discussion came up, what about the tax holiday? And everybody agreed. And I'm glad the governor was on board too, that we need to keep this in place to help families. It's very important. And I think it's not only important from a monetary standpoint, I think it's important from a psychological standpoint. It is the state of West Virginia saying we care about families. We care about children. You do understand that not only do the children and the families, are they helped with this, but our teachers are helped with this. Everyone can take advantage of this, and it's a great thing. And I feel good about West Virginia offering this, and I thank you, Governor, for your support, and so appreciative of the ability to be able to give the people back some of their tax dollars. It's a good thing.
Thank you. Would any of the other delegates like to say anything? Anyone? Good?
It's surprising, but I'll pass.
That's an amazing thing. Well, with that, I'd be happy to take any questions from the media who are here today. And please, if you can, your name and what station you're with.
Yeah, I'm Michael Lees. I'm from WOAY.
Yeah, hey, Mike.
Kind of on the topic of schools and finances. About last week, the Department of Education released some federal dollars back to the state.
Yeah.
That's the question. Is the state worried about possibly losing federal dollars? And if so, what preparations are being made for that?
I think that the announcement last week meant that the state was actually getting some of the money back. So, we're always monitoring the situation to make sure that our schools are adequately funded. But at least those monies, from what I've been told, have come back. And obviously, as budgetary challenges emerge, we're going to be ready for them here in the state of West Virginia. A lot of people know that we inherited some structural challenges. We went to work, and as a result of all the good work, really positive things happened. We tightened our belt a little bit, and as you'll learn in the upcoming days, that resulted in tangible savings of taxpayer dollars. That's a great thing. And so we're always going to look out for it, but we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. You can never predict the changes, but a state needs to be nimble. A state needs to always look out for taxpayers, but also for the core needs of the citizens of the state, including education. So that's what we'll do.
I have one more. Okay.
Yeah, fire
last
away.
Week, Raleigh County judge said in court that the state's mandatory vaccine law can't stand without a religious exemption. Just looking for your reaction to that.
Look, I thought that was a very positive development. We've been advocating for this for a long time. We know that when the religious freedom law passed several years ago, we knew that it had to have some meaning. And so when I first came in, I said, we're not going to have one law that you follow and another law that you ignore. You have to breathe life, breathe meaning into both of the laws. And that's exactly what we did. So our position on this was very straightforward. We know that religious liberty matters a great deal in West Virginia. We also know that West Virginia is a wild outlier in terms of how they had historically approached these vaccinations, the mandatory vaccinations. And all we're doing is suggesting that West Virginia be part of what 45 other states get to benefit from. Think about that. There's really going to be no detrimental public health impact for this. It's not going to impact the herd immunity. I really feel strongly about that. So you have a chance to move away from being a radical outlier and moving away from being like New York and Maine and California and being more like states that show deep respect for religious freedom and our First Amendment. And so that's what we did in our executive order. The executive order was merely an interpretation of two different laws, giving meaning to it. Our argument's always been stronger than the other side. And I'm hopeful that the state school board, that they step back and they say, hey, we understand that the governor's position is correct. And I'll make a prediction. I can't tell you what date that will prevail and where it will happen, but whether it's via a judiciary action or it's happening on the legislative side, we're going to get a law that has a religious exemption. I think West Virginia deserves that. It's going to happen. It's just a question of when. Any other questions from the media?
Cameron Gano, 59 News. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hey.
The tax holiday, obviously great for parents and students.
Absolutely.
Making sure they're prepared for the school year, but also teachers. How important
Of course.
is it that we're making sure our teachers are prepared, the classrooms are ready to be able to effectively teach each year?
I think that's a great point that you're making, and I'm going to talk about that more and more in the future because you raised it. Look, a lot of our teachers, they're very generous. They go out, they buy school supplies for kids, and they really look out for their kids. We have some amazing teachers here in West Virginia. Well, this is an opportunity for them to avail themselves of some of the discounts as well a lot of times they bring things in to the classroom that benefit the class as a whole. So I think it is terrific for our teachers, and I want to thank all of them for everything they do, especially when they lay money out of their own pocket. That really is very special. They're doing it for the kids. So everyone gets the benefit from it, families, small businesses, and obviously teachers as well. Great point. Any other questions from the media? All right, I'm going to have to figure out when I'm going to be coming back to Raleigh County, but I will give you a little bit of a prediction. Next week, there will be Governor's Day at the State Fair. So mark your calendars. We'll be down there, and we're going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary of the State Fair. Pretty amazing time. So we'll be there. I hope to see some of you out there then. Thank you, and God bless.